guys? Welcome back to my 1998 Volvo V70 build. Today we're going to go through and look at all of the aftermarket parts that we have for this. Yeah. We've got everything from coilovers to rain guards. We've got brakes and rotors. We have a front chin spoiler, wheels and tires, a roof rack, a bunch of other stuff. Let's check it out. First off, we have these Maxpeedingrods, front and rear coilovers, adjustable. They were super cheap, probably about the cheapest you can get. And I know that they're cheap, but there aren't a whole lot of options for this car when it comes to coilovers. When it comes to coilovers, all I really found for this particular car was BC Racing, and they're north of $2,000. Obviously, that's not an option for us. So right off the rip, the coilovers are probably going to be one of the most complicated parts of this build. I've never installed them before. I imagine they're relatively simple. We're going to have to deal with dialing in the suspension height and everything. As you can see, these things have roughly 250,000 miles on them. So they're probably due to be changed anyway. And I figured while we're at it, we may as well just get something that we can get a pretty low stance with. So I'm excited to see how good those are. Reviews online are pretty mixed. Some people say for the money, you can't beat them, but they're not very good when it comes to ride quality. I've always had sports cars with lowering kits, so I'm used to poor ride quality. Not a concern. Things that we'll be doing, a lot of European cars actually use wheel studs instead of nuts. Traditional domestic cars have a stud and then your lug nut, and that's what holds your wheel on. However, with these cars, it uses this bolt, and it kind of makes it a pain to try to hold your wheel up there and get everything lined up. So we're actually going to convert it. This is a kit from IPD, relatively cheap, and it should make our life a lot easier in the future. One of the parts I'm most excited about are these Hart racing brakes. This is a drilled and slotted kit. Both front and rear. It comes with everything that I should need. It comes with the pads front and rear. We've got both rotors front and rear. We've got new brake fluid to top it off when we go to bleed them. I also went ahead and bought some braided stainless steel lines from Stop Tech. So one of the things that I'm most focused on is this thing is not going to be a fast car. It doesn't have any power. That's not what this is. That's not what this is for. Hopefully, with the coilovers and our brakes, this thing will stop and handle really well. With it being all-wheel drive, I think this is the route to go. I don't want to spend a bunch of money trying to get this thing to go faster or bigger turbos or anything like that. This is just going to be a daily driver. So I'm really excited for these. This will be a really great option. One of the other things I'm really excited about, I'm going to do my first attempt at using vinyl wrap. This is 3M gloss black vinyl. We're going to try and wrap the whole roof, one solid piece in gloss black. To me, a gloss black roof looks really cool, makes the car look a lot sportier, sleeker. I haven't really seen anything where anybody's done an entire black roof on a wagon, but we'll see how it turns out. The plus side to vinyl is if I don't like it, we can just peel it off, go back to the red, and everything will be fine. Next up, we've got new wheels. These are 17-inch factory Volvo wheels. They came on the R series cars, which were the performance versions. I got these obviously used. They're pretty dinged up. They're gonna need refinished. I've already worked out the pricing and everything and the color. It's gonna look really cool. I think that they're gonna be a really big upgrade from these stock wheels that came with. They're not terrible, but we're gonna go a little bigger with them. These are gonna look a lot sportier, and I think it's gonna fit the wheel wells a little better, especially once it's lowered. These are pretty cool. They're called Pegasus Wheels, and they seem to be harder and harder to come across anymore. So I'm glad that I was able to find these over in St. Louis and pick these up. We will get them powder coated, and that'll be on a later video. And then a few of the smaller things that I'm doing to the exterior of the car. This is actually just a cheap Amazon Subaru STI lip. Supposedly these fit pretty well on these cars with minimal modification. This will actually mount down here to the bottom of the bumper. So that will give it a more aggressive lower stance, and that will be cool. We've also got these rain guards. They go around your windows, so you can have your windows cracked when it's raining and not have to worry about water getting in. These are just some cheap eBay specials. They should get the job done. No need to spend a whole bunch of money, and I think they just make cars look a little better overall. In the introductory video, I talked about wanting to do some stuff in the interior, and we have a really cool kit here. Let's check it out. So I'm sure some of you have seen these on TikTok and Facebook and Instagram, all of that stuff. This is inspired from the Rolls-Royce style headliner. It's a starry headliner kit. So what it actually is a bunch of fiber optic wires and a controller that will actually mount into the headliner. I've already got a sagging headliner, so we're gonna have to have that off and address that anyway. So I thought while we're in there, we can take these and have our Starlight style headline. I've never done one of these kits either. It's an Amazon kit. It wasn't necessarily cheap, but it wasn't too expensive. We should be able to wire it into the car, put it on a switch. It's got a Bluetooth app. It comes with a controller. You can do different flashing and twinkling settings. The trick to these is it going to be a tedious process. This kit has roughly 900 total twinkling stars, which means that I'm going to have to go through and drill 900 holes in the ceiling for each one of these to come through. It's going to be a tedious process, but I think in the end it will look really cool. To go with this, I wanted to do something a little extra, and I bought this Galaxy Tapestry. So I'm hoping that this comboed with the Starlight kit is going to have a really cool look to it. You'll be able to still see kind of the theme, the twinkle light in the daylight, and then in the night, hopefully, the lights from this kit will amplify and reflect the colors from here, giving it a really cool, unique kind of look. So I'm really excited to see how that turns out. It may not turn out the greatest. Again, not necessarily a permanent thing. We can always pull it back off, strip down the tapestry fabric, and go back to just a black suede or something if we want. So one of the other things with this build that I've been kind of on the fence about is the interior. So with the vibe that I'm going for in the car, I don't think I want the tan interior. I think I want to go with the black. I'm not sure that the headliner kit's going to look all that great with all of the tan. It's not like this interior is in bad shape. That seat has seen better days. Most of this, I think I will be able to clean up. But as far as broken pieces or anything, there is this one little piece on the dash that has a crack right in here. Not the end of the world, but something that I imagine will rattle over time. So I have plans for this. The plan is actually, here in a couple of days, I'm going to buy an entire parts car for this. This parts car isn't all-wheel drive. It doesn't have the turbo. It's pretty beat up, but it has a black interior that's actually in relatively good shape. So that's going to be one tedious process, stripping out this whole interior, changing it to black. But we'll check that out once we get the parts car here later this weekend. We'll give it the once-over, check it out, see what's usable, what's not, and whether we want to fully go through with a full color change. Taking out a dash is a real pain in the neck, so I want to make sure that I'm doing something to better the car by doing this, and I think the black is going to go pretty well with it in the end. All right, last but not least, one of my favorite things, those of you who know me probably saw this coming, but I do believe at some point we'll be plasti dipping this car. We'll be changing the color. I really like the red. With the tan interior on the red, it actually looks really good. With the color that we're going with on the wheels, we're gonna go with just that for a while. And then later on down the road, we'll do the plasti dip. I'm mixed on colors, not entirely sure what I want. Had a pretty good idea. What do you think would look good? Let me know in the comments what color you think would look best on this thing. Okay, so for the start, this is what we want to do with the car. There's a lot of little things that I didn't mention, but you'll see those as we get to them. There's going to be a lot of stuff come up throughout the course of the build that I'm going to change or I'm going to want to add, so I'm sure there's going to be plenty that I haven't shown you here. I think this car is going to turn out really cool. It'll be a more extensive build than I've ever done before. So I'm excited to dive into it, see what we can come up with. And we've obviously got some maintenance things that we need to take care of, some parts that are going to need replaced, just basic wear and tear items. May or may not do videos on those. I don't know who'd want to see it, but you never know. If I'm doing it, we may as well do it together. So that's it for now. Let's see, I'll get back with you when we get the parts car. We'll check it out and we'll go from there. So thanks for watching.